If the lion is the king of the jungle, how can he be the king of the jungle? If he's not the biggest, the elephant is probably one of the biggest. He can't be the fastest because that's a cheetah. He can't be the smartest. So he's not the biggest, the fastest, or the smartest. So how does a lion become the king of the jungle? His mentality. That's the only difference of a lion and an elephant. When a lion walks up and sees an elephant, he thinks lunch. An elephant thinks run. And it's all mentality. Because when a male lion walks up, he may be outnumbered by a pack of hyenas, but I'm king of my jungle because of my mentality.
What happens when you're a gazelle and you're not being pushed, you're not being prodded, you're not given a reward, nobody's encouraging you? What happens when you're a gazelle and the lion's not chasing you anymore? You stop running. But what happens when you're a lion? When you're a lion, it does not make a difference. You realize that if your family is going to eat, that if that pack of lions is to survive, then you gotta go hunt. A part of being a beast just ain't eating a gazelle. A part of being a beast is the hunts. It's the hunt that they're excited about. They like to see the gazelles run. Then boom, they take off. Because real lions like to hunt. They love the process just as much as they love the prize. And some of y'all just want to score. You don't like the process. You're not in love with the process.
A true hunter's goal is not the prize. A true hunter's goal is to hunt. That's what they live for. They live to hunt. They don't just live to catch it. It's the whole process. When you are a true hunter, you don't go by time, you go by the gazelle. When you are a true hunter, you hunt until you get a gazelle, and you don't stop until you get one. And then you get another, and then you get another, and you get another.
If you're gonna do what you say you're gonna do, be what you say you're gonna be, you're gonna have to lion me out. You a gazelle, you're gonna come up short. You a gazelle, you're gonna have an average experience. You a student, I need you in lion mode. You an entrepreneur, I need you in lion mode. You trying to lose weight, lion mode. You can't do nothing significant in gazelle mode, nothing. Nothing impressive happens in gazelle mode. Nothing happens in run mode, give up mode, quit mode, scared mode, fearful mode, nothing happens. Everything happens in lion mode like I'm coming to get you.
If the lion is the king of the jungle, how can he be the king of the jungle? If he's not the biggest, the elephant is probably one of the biggest. He can't be the fastest because that's a cheetah. He can't be the smartest. So he's not the biggest, the fastest, or the smartest. So how does a lion become the king of the jungle?
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Can you all hear me? I am excited about this. It's day 2, and we have our guest ready. It's going to be the blast today. Okay. Last week we started, that's week 1, and we're still going to week 7. We have lineup of speakers that will only be availed a week before. So today you will get to know who our speaker will be for next week. Okay, so it's progressive, and we are not trying to keep you on suspense, but then I think it is good, right? Today we have my very good friend, Thayo Ashley, and he will be speaking on becoming your best professional self in 2025, right? And last week I started the webinar series, Elevate 2025, and I spoke on just laying the foundation and uh, building, you know, just trying to ensure that we all understand the purpose of the webinar. and I've got several feedbacks, about all that was discussed. Now, listen to me, guys. Your mind is powerful, right? Your mind is powerful. If there is anything that I want you to take important this year, is what has access. What are you going to give access to your mind, right? Uh, Last week was one of such week where you want to go back. Last weekend, Saturday, I mean, you want to go back and listen to that, because it's going to be progressive going forward. It's going to be progressive going forward. I do not intend to take so much of our time. In a short while, we're going to play the video introducing our speaker for today, right? And afterwards, we will turn it over to him. It's series 2, and I'm sure that you all are ready. Now, get your pen and notepads ready. If you want to use your phone, turn on your notepad on your phone. Some of you, you are permitted to take screenshots if you want to take screenshots. But I am so sure, that today is meant for every one of us. Again, it is series 2 of Elevate 2025. And we will be discussing today becoming your best professional self. Now, be it you're working somewhere, be it you're a business owner, or you are just about to start a business, or you are just about to quit to start something for yourself, or you want to scale from where you are to the next level as a professional, all of this will be discussed today, and you have the chance to ask questions. So we have, I want to believe that we have the link where you can click and ask your questions while the speaker is speaking. Okay. Again, please pay attention. Your mind is very powerful, and you want to give attention to your mind. What goes into your mind through the various gates of your life. Your ear gate, your eye gate is very critical in 2025, right? So after this video, the next voice you're going to hear will be the voice of our speaker for today, Tayo Ashley. I'll turn it over to our media team.
Tayo is a seasoned entrepreneur, product manager, and consultant with over 10 years of experience across various sectors, including consulting, not-for-profits, and information technology. As the principal consultant at Frame Consults, Tayo has established a thriving training organization that aids professionals in transitioning to corporate tech, with a strong emphasis on utilizing agile frameworks in product management. Through Frame Consults, Tayo has designed immersive programs that provide hands-on learning experiences, producing industry-ready professionals excelling as business analysts, product owners, product managers, and more. An advocate for AI and technology-driven solutions, he supports Frame Consults alumni by introducing them to advanced AI tools and guides them in leveraging these innovations effectively in their daily work. A certified ServiceNow administrator, CSA, Tayo leverages his expertise to streamline workflows and enhance platform efficiency, bringing valuable insights and technical knowledge to his team and clients. He currently leads an internal ServiceNow product team at a top consulting firm in Seattle, Washington, that supports diverse stakeholders, including technology, global people teams, and finance departments. Tayo is a dynamic public speaker and experienced panel host, having facilitated engaging sessions at conferences and seminars across various sectors. His ability to articulate complex ideas, foster insightful discussions, and connect with diverse audiences has made him a sought-after speaker and moderator in professional and academic settings. As a panelist, Tayo shares a unique perspective on human capacity development, seamlessly blending practical product management skills with a passion for mentorship, personal development, and a commitment to empowering others in their professional journeys. With a resounding applause, ladies and gentlemen, let's make welcome to Elevate 2025, Tayo Ashley. Tayo is a seasoned entrepreneur, product manager, and consultant with over 10 years of experience across various sectors, including consulting, not-for-profits, and information technology.
Yep, can you hear me now? I think I'm muted. All right, I got a notification saying you're on stage. So yeah, this is my stage. Um, First off, right, let's just get straight to it because we don't have time. I'm super, and this is honestly, I always like to say this. This is not because it's what I'm expected to say. I have been able to build some form of trustworthiness to say that I do not say things because they're expected to be said. If you hear me say anything, there's been a lot of thought to it. And I mean the things I say. I try, I'm not there yet, but what I don't mean, I would not say. And I said all that to say that I am super grateful for the privilege of this platform. Grateful to the gatekeepers of the platform. Grateful to KJK and the entire leadership of KJK Development Systems and the Real Platform. It's literally home for me, right? I feel like I'm part of the family and I'm thankful for it. And the reason why I'm thankful, and the session already started, right? The reason I'm thankful is because sometimes we exaggerate the value and the importance of giftings. But I've realized through insight and research that platforms are springboards for giftings. A gift without a platform is like you're winking in the dark. And it's called the sadness of isolated wealth. You have a lot of giftings, but nobody can see it because no platform has been provided for you. And that's why everyone with a gift who's been given a platform must be grateful for that platform. Because if it's lost, the gift is as good as not there. So all I'm saying in essence is thank you for having me today. I also want to appreciate my wife. I think she's here somewhere. We'll call on the platform. Thank you for joining in and for always being an effective sounding board for all of my crazy ideas. This is probably the fourth or fifth time she's going to hear everything I'm saying today because I'm always bouncing it off of her. Hey, babe, what do you think? What do you think? And she's not scared to tell me what she thinks. So this has been vetted by the great Olubukola Ashley. All right. And I want to promise you guys today that everything I will be sharing with us will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So I'm going to be speaking and I'm going to share my slide in a minute. Please let me know if you can see it. I think you should be able to see it now. Yeah, you can see my slides. Can you see my slide and can you still hear me? I just want to check this chat to be sure. All right, cool. You can see my slides and I hope you can still hear me. All right. And we're going to get started because I'm going to focus on that now. So I have been instructed by my principal, KJK, to speak on becoming your best professional self. And I will be sharing on that. However, the lessons we're going to be learning today would benefit us not only in our professional career, and I had KJK say that at the start, that even if you're about wherever you are, right, on your professional journey, you're just about to start your career, you're in the middle of that, you're a career veteran, or you're about to start a business, the lessons we're going to learn, the things we're going to be sharing today, it's my belief that it will benefit us because what I've done is I've tried to expand the scope of the delivery beyond just our careers, all right? And as we start, I have identified two objectives for this session. And it is against those objectives that we're going to measure success. The first is this session will not provide answers, but it will provoke questions in our hearts. And that's very important. The reason why questions are valuable is because they are proofs that answers exist. Hunger is proof that food exists. Thirst is proof that water exists. So if I give you water, but I don't teach you how to value your thirst, the next time you get thirsty, you would look for me. And we don't build champions like that. So what we're doing with this session today is to provoke questions in our hearts and equip us with material enough to then go research and find the answers for our own unique experience on this earth. That's the first objective. Second objective is to elicit mental pictures. So as I go into my session, you would see pictures of yourself. You will see pictures of your business, of your careers, beyond what you currently experience today. Now, it's those pictures that you will leverage to redesign your respective postures, not just in your career, but in every area of our lives in 2025 and beyond. As we get started, I'm going to be talking about the principle of parallelity. I'm trying to get my slide to move. Yep, it just did. I'm going to be talking about a principle called the principle of parallelity. There are different names for this principle. Some people call it principle of the alternate universe, parallel universe, but I like the word parallelity because of how it sounds. But before we dive in, please understand that at their core, principles are characteristic of globalization, not localization. You can contextualize principles, but you can't localize it. Every principle must pass the test of universality and not just the test of locality. That's why gravity is gravity in Mombasa, Kenya, in Nairobi, Kenya, in Lagos, Nigeria, in London, in Germany, everywhere across the world. Gravity is a principle because it has passed that test. Now, based on your unique context, you can contextualize it. So this principle is global. You cannot escape it because of your geography or where you are currently. The best you can do is contextualize it. That is, you create a workaround to maximize that principle in your personal situation. It's like gravity. Gravity is a principle. Whatever goes up must come down. But you can contextualize that principle in instances of maybe high gusts of wind. And you can have things that should come down, but they're soaring, right? Because you can contextualize that principle. So what does the principle of parallelity state? It is the idea that every variation, and I am super excited because this is where KJK started from last week. And I told him in the course of the week that his session kind of helped me see how I'm going to taxi in this session because it's the sound of the season that we're in. This thing that we're talking about here. The principle is the idea, or it serves up the idea that every variation of a human's possibility already exists. Think about yourself. Now we're getting into pictures. Wherever you are, in your room, you're driving, in your living room, at the office, wherever you're joining in from. Think about all the possibilities of you that exist right now. You want to be married. You want to be a senior director. You want to be a manager. You want to be a vice president. You want to be a parent. Beyond career, I'm saying that every variation of that version of you already exists at the same time with your current reality. The good news, friends, is each of those variations can be progressively accessed, but it's only accessed through the vehicle of decisioning. Can you guys still see my screen? Because I got a notification saying share screen. All right, cool. Every variation of that reality as it exists can only be accessed through the vehicle of decisioning. What it means is Our decisions, the character of our decision will determine the variation of ourselves that we become, or the variation of ourselves that we access. KJK and I had conversations many times about decades ago when he was in a city in northern Nigeria without any form of comeliness or beautification that we should behold him. But he had an understanding of this. And through words, decisioning to produce words that defined the variation he wants to experience. It took time, but he's sitting in the exact replication of those words right now. So I'm telling you that these things we're saying is not fancy words. They are not just things that have to be said because somebody has been invited to speak. This is the precipice upon which champions, high flyers are built. The fact that all they would ever be already is. And they only make decisions in the moment that defines the roadmap that they would journey on. Very important. The good news is we can alter our decisions anytime to reroute the roadmap of our becoming, for better or for worse. All that we are today is a product of our decision. It's an exact replica of our decisions. We're on this call today because you decided to join. Nobody's here by accident. So all that we are defines or exactly captures our decisions. Now, as we journey towards the variations of our personal selves, our professional selves, there is a dilemma or a conundrum that influences how long this access will take, or if it would even be attained at all. I call that conundrum the survive, thrive conundrum. What does that mean? Survive is a mindset. If you reside in the terrain of survive, all you want is to be satisfied with the bare minimum, just enough at every phase. Thank God I have a job. And that's okay for you. There is nothing more if you are in survive terrain. Just enough is what, I feel like we have a lot of Nigerians here. So it's the urgent 2K mentality, right? Daily 2K. No, that is okay, but there is more. If you sit in survive, you would be at best a faceless member of the earth population. No relevance, no change, no impact. What we're trying to do is to move us from survive towards the next terrain called thrive. This is beyond career. Honestly, this lesson can be maximized in every area of our lives. Thrive does not just want the bare minimum. Thrive does not only want the best. Thrive would only be satisfied with the best at every phase. And Thrive knows that at this phase, the best for this current phase can be the least for the next phase. So Thrive is always in motion, but it's strategic motion, not just motion born from busyness. Now we must understand that survive is not outrightly bad, my friends. It's a bend. It's not an end on our earth journey. Because we all begin from survive. Even if you're born into wealth, like second generation wealth, and you have a really soft landing, the people who ignited or kickstarted that generation, they started from survive. It's ground zero for us. So survive is not outrightly bad. It's okay to start at survive, but please do not stay there. No matter what it costs, don't stay in survive. Survive should be a start. It should not be a stay. Because the truth is, no one can successfully live and sustain lifestyle and thrive if they have not fully conquered survive. So there are lessons to learn. And in case you're thinking about it now, you feel like you're in survive, I just want the bare minimum. I just want to have a roof over my head. I don't even want much. I don't want trouble. It's okay to start there, but learn the lessons that survive offers, because you're going to need it when you get to thrive. And you must get there, because life in thrive is way better than life in survive. Survive is not just about money, friends. It's a mindset. It's and thrive as well. These templates, they're like lenses of interpretation. If you give someone in Survive $10 million, oh, that's pretty much maybe way higher than our current context. Let's bring it on. You give someone in Survive $5,000 and give somebody in Thrive $5,000. Come back in 6 months. It will not be the same. I can guarantee you under heaven, it can't be the same, because Survive and Thrive, they are lenses of interpretation. Survive always sees scarcity. Survive always sees lack and want and shortcomings. Survive and Thrive, they are mental constructs. It's the setup of the mind. I like what KJK said at the start. Your mind is very critical, friends. My mind is very critical. Our minds are very critical. Survive and Thrive, they are templates of contemplation that births the decisions we make. It defines the character of our decisions. In Q3 or Q4-ish of last year, I was super honored again by KJK to host the couch conversation type session at the Real Platform webinar, Real Platform seminar we had here in the city of Maryland. And I had shared with him that I'm not just going to approach that as just regular Q&A, because the guest I was going to speak with has sat on some of the best stages across the world with some of the most seasoned panel hosts. So I just wasn't going to approach that opportunity with Survive. And I spent, I could tell you categorically, weeks, maybe even months preparing for a 40-minute conversation, because that's how Thrive thinks. Thrive doesn't see opportunities as another day or another occurrence. Thrive maximizes. So what we're saying is our decisions reflect our mental construct. And we're going to get there very soon. It's going to all make sense, going to all come together. Like I said, I'm not here to provide answers. I'm here to provoke questions in our hearts. That's what I'm here to do today. Now we must note, like I've said before, that every champion in every field, they are products of Thrive. No champion or high flyer has ever emerged from Survive. It's always from Thrive. And one of the reasons is because like I shared with you about the opportunity from last year, in Survive, when opportunities come like that, they're labeled, and please listen here, I beg you, please don't get distracted right now, because we're getting into the need of it. In Survive, when possibilities show up, they are labeled with overwhelming exaggerations. And so, the occupants of the terrain called Survive are robbed of the attendant potential of those possibilities. So an opportunity comes to do something and the person is in Survive. It's too big, I can't do it. I've never done this before. I can only make this for business owners. Maybe you're a caterer. I can only cater to 50 people. Then an opportunity comes for you to cater to 5,000 people. The you that can cater to 5,000 already exists. The difference between that person and the current you is your decisions. But if you are domiciled in Survive, you will push it back. You will label that opportunity with an overwhelming exaggeration. I can't do it. It's because you have not been introduced to yourself. If you know you, then you will know that you can not only cater to 5,000, you can cater to 50,000 on a monthly basis for a year. And that version of you already exists. In Survive, we hide. We hide from our future self. We hide from opportunities. But in Thrive, my friends, we attempt again and again. In Thrive, the occupants of Thrive, they keep attempting until mastery, until they attain mastery in a context that once defined us as novices. That's what obtains in Thrive. Oh, my friends, I hope you can hear me loud and clear. In Thrive, we attempt. In Survive, we hide. So if you find yourself hiding from opportunity, and the thing is, you can appear to be busy on the outside, but you yourself know you're hiding. This is different from isolating for a season so you can be relaunched as a better version of yourself. I'm talking about not believing in yourself and running and shying away from opportunities. That's very, very reflective, symptomatic of those in Survive. In Thrive, you attempt again and again until you attain mastery. You become a master in a context that once defined you as a novice. We speak like this today, not because we've always spoken like this, but we spoke through the errors. We spoke through the mistakes till we became what we are today. And this is still the least, because there are bigger stages to be conquered. That is how Thrive thinks. And then how do you know the character of your mental construct? You must ask yourself, what are you willing to attempt? What is the price you are willing to pay? Where have you drawn the line that causes you to retreat to normalcy? That after this is not me. I can take business of 500K. Once it goes beyond that, I don't want wahala for myself. We've all heard the story of Abraham Lincoln. Again and again, the man lived in Thrive. When the world disbelieved him, in fact, gave him a medical justification for his inability, he broke through that until he attained the highest office in the land. The man lived perpetually in Thrive. Now, having identified these two terrains of living, the engine that drives us to keep attempting more and more, the engine that enables us to pay whatever price is required, the prices that the merchants of productivity have determined, the engine that drives us to pay that price is called desire, my friends. It is desire that will catapult you from survive into thrive against all odds. Civilization as we know it today is built on the foundation of desire. So let us discuss briefly the architecture of desire. And we must know that desire is the language of the heart. It is a defined yearning. Sometimes it could be indistinct, but you know something is beating inside you. And that is leading you towards more than what is currently apparent. A desire is not a wish. If wishes were horses, beggars will ride. The proof that it's a desire is that it provokes you to motion. If you don't act on it, it's a wish. Your heart speaks a language called desire. True desire always results in motion. And we must protect our desires, because if you don't protect your desire, or if your desire remains unmonitored, it can be corrupted. It can be drained. And we're going to get there in a few minutes. The corruption of desire. And we're going to see how to escape that trap. One of the things that can corrupt our desire is normalcy or routine. So you have captured a vision of yourself, who you want to be in your career, in any area of your life. But because of the normalcy of routine, you lose the passion for that desire. It's not because the desire was weak. It's because the desire was unmonitored. So I'm challenging us today from all over the world where we're joining in. Check in on your desires daily, every single day. You must check in on it. It's like a plant. If you keep flowers or plants in your house, you check in on it every day. One way you can guard against normalcy is to act on your desire. Don't just start, but sustain the action. This is a foundation. If this enters, I'll rush through the rest of my slides and we'll take questions. Again, the antidote to normalcy or routine corrupting our desire is to always act. So I'd said, checking on your desire every day, do something in the direction of your desire on a daily basis, and sustain that action. Because the proof and protection of desire is called positioning. Remember where we started from, the principle of parallelity. Every variation of you, your successful self, your billionaire self, your 30 BG self already exists right now. What would take you from here to there is the character of your decisions. But your decision on that journey would either route you through survive or route you to thrive. We said it's okay to start in survive, but journey into thrive and sit there consistently. And we said one of the things that sustains your residence in thrive is called desire. And how do you protect this desire? We said it's called positioning. So let us talk about what I've labeled the RED positioning. and it's KJK's platform. So you have to create these acronyms. He's a super expert at this. I'm like, I have to find it. This thing must fit. So yes, point one. The red, positioning. We don't pursue dreams. We position for dreams. Because the designers of the universe have architected our experience in such a way that dreams are designed to be positioned for, not to be pursued. So in your hustle, understand that you're hustling towards positioning, not towards pursuit. You hustle towards positioning in your career as well. Sometime last year in Q1, the org structure on my team at work changed. And when there's leadership change, it's a reset. Everybody's back to ground zero. You can sell yourself to the new leader the best way you can. And I made a decision to do that with my new director, Keisha Williams. And beyond work, sometimes if I haven't spoken to her in maybe 3-4 weeks, I'll check up on her. Hey Keisha, what's up? Just checking up. It's been quiet on this street. In fact, I found a nickname for her. So we are cool like that. What I'm saying is, I had identified this person as a conduit that I need to access for my next level to become a possibility. So I built, number one, a relationship with her. That's the first hour of positioning. And now we're getting into the granular details of how to become your best professional selves in your career. But I needed to say all that so we don't run on these things in a mechanized format, but it has to be original. So I kept on checking on Keisha this way. In meetings, when she's talking, I would respond, essentially marketing myself because she is a gatekeeper. And late last year, an opportunity showed up in the city of Atlanta to strategize for 2025. I'm a product manager on a team of about 14 people, where 2 product managers have 2 teams merged into one. And then they were going to pick somebody who was going to go to Atlanta, all expense paid, to be a part of that strategy session with other leaders in the organization. The only thing let me not say the only thing, but for the purpose of this conversation, the only thing that I saw as the reason for my being selected, I'm the only person on my team who was there in person, all expense paid, was because I effectively built a relationship with this woman. Relationships are critical in accessing your next best self. If I don't have a relationship with KJK, there is no universe in which I will be here. And if I had a relationship and mismanaged it, I still would not be here. If I mismanage the relationship, the last opportunity to speak would be the last opportunity to speak. So identify the relationships that align with the vision of where you're going and service those relationships. My friends, identify these relationships and go after them. Go after those relationships with strategy. It will cost us, but it will pay. These relationships are destiny defining. They are not plenty. It's not everybody is my friend. They are strategic relationships. Through KJK, I was able to ignite one of such in Q4 of last year. And I told him, I said, this relationship had an opportunity to be started about 12 years before, but I was unripe for it. And that's also critical, because if you show up unready, you might shut the door forever in a relationship that should be a catalyst on your journey in life. So, identify these relationships. Like I said, I'm provoking questions. So the question is, what kind of relationships am I going to identify in my life? And you write names there: John Doe, Jane Doe, Johnson Freeman. It's not angelic, it's practical. And go after them. Send an email, send a text, visit, phone call, send a gift. Birthdays are not a surprise. It happens once every year, no matter where you are born, no matter who you are. Honor the relationships that would catapult you into your next phase. Do not take them for granted. That's why they can't be a lot. Ask questions. Your future is someone's current reality. Ask them about the roadmap and ask intelligent questions. Don't ask them how many shoes they have. What's their favorite designer? Don't do that. Ask decisions that will, in that relationship I mentioned about that I kick-started Q4 of last year, I asked questions to a point where this great man literally took a deep breath and said, where did you get these things from? Because when you research before you ask questions, the intensity, validity, and weight of those questions will be very apparent. Don't ask shallow questions. Don't ask questions from Google or from ChatGPT. Pull it from within you. KJK talked about that last week. Pull it from deep within you. Because as in water, face answers to face, so the heart of man to man. You connect to these relationships by heart, not by head. If it's by head, they will offend you, you will get angry, and you'll be right, and you'll leave. If it's by heart, they will offend you, you won't see it. Because it's destiny relationship. Sometimes these relationships can even be your subordinates. Now, relationships are great, my friends. But relationships, no matter how great, will be frustrated if we don't pay attention to the next thing here, which is effectiveness. While you identify this relationship, be effective on your task at hand. I call effectiveness heads down excellence on every task at hand. Don't pursue relationships, then you get an opportunity to do great work and you do a shoddy job. Don't do that. If you know you are not ready for it, leave the relationship. Opportunities will come back again, but don't waste time. You have to position in effectiveness. Don't chase more if you have not been faithful with now. Don't do that. It would get corrupt. It would disintegrate before your very eyes. Know your onions to the best of your ability. If you're a speaker, speak well. If you're a designer, design well. If you're a furniture maker, make it well. Learn how to do it better. Whatever level you are now, in some other realities, is the least experience. What that means is learning is a constant reality if you domicile and thrive. I always say this to myself and to everybody in my circle. Make it a habit to always do your best, no matter how tired you are. I'm like that. And I built that for years. And when you have done your best on any task, you can walk away holding your head up high. And you are the only one who knows you've done your best. Sometimes people think they clap for you, oh, you've done a great work. But deep within you, yourself is telling yourself that you didn't do well there. I told you guys about my wife being my sounding board. Sometimes I do something, maybe I speak somewhere, I send it to her to listen. It's like, oh, you did a great work, babe. I'm like, no, I didn't feel like I delivered well. To everybody, I probably even got a standing ovation. I probably even got validation after. But I don't want to be true to the public and be false to myself. It's called hypocrisy. So be excellent all the time, whether you are alone or whether you're in community. And the price for effectiveness is dedication. Don't be absent-minded. Be present. Be present. I felt like saying that would call some people who are absent-minded on this call back to order. There's only so much you can do at one time. I have this book here. KJK showed you guys a book on Elon Musk last week, so it doesn't look like I don't read. Let me show you guys my old book too. And every speaker after now. I have this book here called Essentialism. It's probably flipped, but that's the word, essentialism. It's the disciplined pursuit of less. Empower your no. The response to every request should not always be yes, no matter who is asking. Except it is this strategic relationship. That's why they can't be plenty. Because there are some people in my life I can't say no to, except it goes against the ordinance of God. That is an overarching principle. So I'm saying the reason why we're not effective is because we're not dedicated. And we're not dedicated because we're overwhelmed. And we're overwhelmed because we're doing too much. Focus on the task at hand. If you're a banker, if you're an insurance broker, if you're an engineer, there's only so much you can learn at a time. Identify this year. What are the 4 skills I want to learn? At the start of last year, I had one career goal to get my CSA certification, and I got it. At the start of the year before, I had one career goal to get my certified Scrum trainer, and I got it. Because there's what you call enhance and operate. You have to keep the lights on. That requires energy. So if you're going to create new, you need to create white space beyond enhance and operate to create those things. If you are too busy, you would not be able to. That's why people have, I'm not a fan of not to do list. What is New Year resolutions? I don't do it. I don't have it. Because you can't populate the year that you don't know anything about with demands. There is strategy to these things, my friends. Study, learn, practice over and over again. Now, relationships are great, effectiveness are great, but there's one more key as I start to round off. If we don't pay attention to this key, we would become what a senior colleague or a senior friend of mine decades ago, many years ago, is called, we will become psychedelic monuments of a bygone era if we don't pay attention to development. Champions can be dethroned if they stop servicing the discipline that made them champions. We should not be too plugged into today that we forget that today is always in transit. We must do our best in every area of concern to find out where tomorrow lies and position for it through the engine of development. So identify relationships, go after them, be effective on your task so that you don't expose an unripe self. And then when you are effective on the task at hand, know that the world is in motion. So don't stay there. There is another you. And we must be dedicated and committed to development. Development is evolution, my friends. If I meet you in October of this year, there should have been progress. If you stop progressing forward, you are progressing towards extinction. You can't stay without moving. If you are not consciously moving, something is moving you towards extinction or towards irrelevance. One of the major factors that drives development is your community, the people you surround yourself with. And this is not the strategic relationships I talked about, but your regular community, the people, the character of your association. Chickens don't roar. To chickens, roaring is noise and it produces fear. But roaring is the language of lions. So if you've captured your future self as a lion, but you hang out with chickens, the thing that should be normal language for you will frighten them. So they will push back and you would abandon your nature to please your friends. If you have been designed as a lion, ditch the chickens. It will hurt you, but it will pay you. I had a few of those last year. It's called excision. You cut it off. Not because they are all bad, but because they serve their purpose. Some relationships are for a season, some relationships are for life. I have a lot of stories to share, but my time is almost up. This development in 2021, let me share this and I'll round up. I think I have about 5 or 6 minutes left. And please, you can just let me know the time I have left because I have a timer here, but I think I started it too soon. In Q3 of 2021, I was at a crossroad in my career. I was going to be made an analyst, a process analyst on a platform I had no experience in. But I know this principle, so I wasn't going to say no. So I said, yes, I'll take it. And I'll take the education on the road. So I'm doing my current job and I'm learning mastery in a product that publishes 2 platform-wide upgrades twice every year. So once you attain mastery in one, it becomes obsolete in 6 months. You have to keep going. But because I understand the value of development, I wasn't going to back down. See, I'm a Christian, I'm a believer, I don't shy away from it. It's the most important attribute of my person. It drives everything I do. So I took it to God in prayer. And I started asking for 3 things. Almost every work day, I'll pray this prayer. I have the wisdom to concentrate because I realized I work remotely, so I used to get distracted. I'll be in meetings and I'll be on my phone. But that's survive. We don't do that in Thrive. So I prayed for the wisdom to concentrate, the wisdom to comprehend all communicated concepts, and the wisdom to communicate all the concepts I have comprehended. Those 3 C's every day, slowly but surely. I saw myself rising in mastery of this platform. From a season where I needed to lean on experts to speak about this platform, to a place where I'm now hosting presentations about how this platform can improve business processes for my stakeholders. It's called development. It was not easy, my friends. It's hard work, very uncomfortable, but you can't be addicted to comfort and be committed to development at the same time. They are mutually exclusive. You choose one, development or comfort, because development is uncomfortable. Ask a woman who is pregnant, developing another human. Nothing comfortable about it. So define your vision and develop in the direction of it. Vision defines diet. There are things you don't consume, not because they are bad, but it's because they are not fit for your vision. There's a way the community you want to live in, the goal you have in your career, there's a way they speak there. There's a charisma of that location. There is a posture. I practice this thing sometimes in front of the mirror, how to stand before greatness. You don't want to know how many times I've visualized this moment right now, because you better be ready when greatness show up. And it has to do with these three keys for positioning: relationships, effectiveness, and development. I wish I had more time, but this is how much time will permit. And I hope the two objectives I set out with 40 minutes ago have been attained, which is one, to provoke questions, and two, to elicit mental pictures. I'm still available. I think we have questions. But again, I'm super grateful to the leadership of this great platform for the opportunity to share these with us. And I hope it's been worthwhile for us. Thank you. I think that's the next slide. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I can.
All over the room. I've just been screaming, and I've been like, wow, 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 what a session. What a session. I mean, I was going to say you have more time, to just keep driving. Wow. Okay, so the chat room on YouTube has been wild, right? And I'm so excited about this. I think I need to go, watch this over again and just soak it in some more. Um, how do I position myself for the next, right? Um, this is January. I want to be able to achieve or attain certain heights by July 2025. I know you had talked about positioning when you started, and this is a question that I would love if you can touch on it. I have a few other questions, about four other questions that's been coming up, and I thought to ask you: how do I position myself? This is where I am right now. I'm on point A. I know you've talked about relationship and the every other point, but then haven't heard all that you have said. Uh, for some it could be more than 6 months, some it could be they have to probably put in some work for 3 years to be able to get to that height. But I'm at this level. I'm a secretary right now where I am, but I know that I have the capacity to get into the boardroom. How do I position myself between the front desk to the boardroom, like at a very high level? I know it's a lot, but a quick one, because I know that we've spent time together. I've heard you share a few of your story, where you were, and then this is where you are right now. And then I still hear you say stuff like, "I'm not even there yet." I have my own story. A good number of the folks have heard my story over and over again, but I want to hear your own little high level explanation as to how I can bridge that gap very quickly.
All right. Thank you, sir. That's pretty much a great question. The first there is honesty.
Wow.
That's the first. Because you have to validate your desire. A lot of times, what we call desire is wish.
Hmm.
If you understand the demands of the boardroom, you might be tempted to prefer the normalcy of the front desk.
Wow.
You
Please, can you
must
say that again? Wow.
if you understand the demands of the boardroom,
The boardroom. Hmm.
you might be tempted to retain the normalcy of the front desk.
Hmm.
Because that's why I said we have to be honest. A lot of times, it's just the expected thing to say that I want to be better, I want to do more.
Oh.
Question is, do you really want to?
Do you really want to? The price behind it, right?
Yeah, it requires a lot of discipline that
Hmm.
a lot of us are not ready for.
Whoa. True.
Through desire, a man or woman, having separated themselves, intermeddle with all kinds of wisdom. So once you validate your desire, the second thing is you must be ready for isolation because greatness is not made in public.
Wow.
You
Wow.
have to go in. See this. Like I said,
Hmm.
I learned this from my pastor. I try not to share things I have not practiced.
Hmm.
Mm, I won't be able to produce the sound. You have to
Hmm.
be willing to go into isolation
Hmm.
so that the world, because this thing is governed by energy, so that the world can forget the version of you that is front desk.
Hmm.
And then when you re-emerge with a new energy, the world is ready to accommodate you. That's high level. So let's bring it home. What do I mean by isolate yourself? You're
Hmm.
going to work 9 to 5 as front desk, but your language is no longer the language of front desk. You have
Come
gone
on
into
now.
isolation to learn how they speak there. Because I said while I was talking, better be ready when greatness show up. It could be in the elevator. You are in the elevator as a front desk, going from the fourth floor to the ground floor with somebody who is a gatekeeper to your next level. And you strike a conversation. You utter some words that are only characteristic of a particular phase. He would ask you questions. It's
Hmm.
heart to heart, my friends. He would ask you questions. And so let me now break it down. So, I mean, KJK, you're aware of this, sir. Last year at the seminar, right, here in Maryland, I told you about the way I mapped out those questions.
Yes.
The first question I asked was what opened the door to that relationship.
Mm-hmm. I know. True. I agree. I mean,
So
I was there.
it's based on isolation to go and find how they talk there. It's not just language. There is charisma for that phase. There is posture for that phase. See,
Hmm.
the universe is built on justice. While this I'm overdue for a next phase, you are not overdue. When
Come
you are
on now.
overdue, you will move. When you are overdue, as surely as night gives way to day, the universe will give way to your next level. When a woman is due, whether she's ready or not, she'll give birth. It has nothing to do with her feelings. Sometimes she doesn't even know, but her water breaks. And it can break anywhere because she
Hmm.
has done what ought to be done during the season of pregnancy. Be honest, validate your desire. Go
Hmm.
into isolation. Isolation is not you won't be seen by anybody. You have to keep the lights on, so you have to go to work. But
Hmm.
when you retreat, your alone moments, define the activities there. You read. There's no champion who hates to read. None.
Come on now.
No, even comedians, champion comedians are studious. They are very serious about their comedy business. That's the paradox I can give you, right? So you study, you go after it, you pay for it. It will
Hmm.
cost you, but it will pay you. And the final thing is be patient because it will take time. The character of our journeys are very different because our
Hmm.
histories are unique and independent. So
Hmm.
you can't look at somebody else's pace and judge yourself as slow. It has to be.
Hmm.
So be
Hmm.
patient. It might take your friend 6 weeks and it might take you 8 months. But
Hmm.
after that 8 months, you are both in possession. And history is irrelevant at that point.
History
I
is
hope that
relevant at that point.
answers your questions.
Wow. Wow. Some years ago, over about 14, 15 years ago, I had the privilege of mentoring a group of people. So there was this guy one day, I mean, he reached out to me and he asked me that he wanted me to mentor him, life mentorship, not specific as to any career or any goal, but just wants me to help him get the right path, to follow. So about 5 months in, I mean, I told him, let's see how it goes, right? I mean, I'm not very quick to saying yes, I will mentor you. I'm not looking for prodigies, as much as I have quite a few around now. And then I said, let's see how it goes. 5 months after, he called me, and he said to me that he he doesn't think I can provide mentorship for him. And then I smiled. I asked him, why? What's your reason? Then he said, I make posts on social media. You don't make comments. You don't like it. Um, I try to do stuff. I have said this online. I have posted my vision, the mission, everything about me. You don't even do as if you see any of that, right? And I'm like, okay, that's fine. And up until now, I haven't heard from him. I don't even know where he is, but I know where I am, and I know where this vision is. Now, could you speak a little bit? I know you're very big on some of these things, and that would lead to the next two questions I'm going to ask you. Um, can you speak to that?
Yeah.
Was I wrong?
A
What,
lot of
what
times,
exactly is going on?
right, when people say they want mentors, what they actually mean is that they want fans or sponsors, not mentors.
Hmm.
Your coach is not your friend. That's why he's closer to the field of play. He's not on the stands.
Wow.
Your mentor is not your friend.
Come on now.
The stakes are higher for your mentor. So he or she is not after accolades.
Hmm.
So they give you what you need, sometimes before you even know you need it. That's why you can't have plenty, because the human condition can only accommodate so much of people that you can't say no to and people you can't be offended at. There are people like that in my life, and I believe in your life too, sir. You can't afford offense in that direction, even if you'll be justified in the eyes of a basic human.
Hmm.
So if we're going after mentors, we must understand what mentorship is. It is the crucible of the great. And a major characteristic of crucibles is pain. If you have a mentor and you don't go through some form of pain, you should ditch that person. If it's all sweet and all comfortable. Sometimes mentors refuse you access into certain rooms, not because you are not qualified, but to test the depth, the anchorage of your heart. It's a heart to heart thing.
Hmm.
If this thing is shallow, that's when you now maybe attain certain heights and you think you've outgrown your mentor. No, then you never understood what mentorship is.
Wow.
It is the law of reproduction. The seed would always produce more than the fruit. You can count the number of seeds in an apple, but you can't count the number of apples in a seed. So most of us on this platform are probably on the side where we are trying to get people to mentor us. First, understand what mentorship is
Hmm.
and be ready to accommodate pain because it's part of it. It's like wanting to go to school but hating to write tests and exams. It's easier to play in the playground than to study for tests. So, in mentoring relationships, it will not always be comfortable. Now, sometimes your mentors will be wrong. There is strategy to air that concern. You don't point your fingers to them because gatekeeping is a principle that the designers of this universe have architected into the framework of the universe. So we can't do away from it. We can't do away with it.
Wow. I just believe that if we take these things that you have said today, especially the red acronym concept, to our various professions, we will stand out. Especially the stories that you told about how you built relationship. People just get into the office and they don't even know how to relate with, their bosses, the CEOs and all of that. And your story with Kisha, right? Just hit it right on. Someone is asking, if you are the midpoint of satisfaction and thrive, what are the key lessons to look out for or take seriously?
If you're in the midpoint of satisfaction and thrive, what are the key
Key
lessons to learn?
lessons to look out for or take seriously.
I would approach this from the concept of you being able to track your becoming.
Hmm.
Because every great win, and please listen, right? Every great win, I don't want to, the word coming to my head is concatenation, but it's probably a big word. So let me say every great win is a collection of small wins. Yeah. Every great win is a collection of small wins.
Hmm.
If we lose track of the small wins, we would most likely miss the big win. So what you need to look out for is you need to keep track of your small wins because you need to stay motivated. That thing, the journey from survive to thrive, sometimes it not sometimes, it always takes time. And sometimes you might be discouraged.
Hmm.
So using myself as an example, in Q4 of 2021, when I started this journey on that platform I shared with you guys earlier on, it was difficult getting into meetings, 90 minutes, and you come out and you understood nothing because of all the acronyms and all the things they were saying that you had no idea for, no context to, compare against. But what I did was stayed consistent with the things, the practice that would help me become proficient in that area, and then celebrate my wins. And again, I've got to bring my wife in here because sometimes I'm in meetings and I'm like, babe, I feel so frustrated. And she's like, no, you're doing better. I heard you speak. You sound better. You sound more confident. So I'm saying you track the small wins. Your accountability system also is important because sometimes we are too self-critical and our accountability partners or the occupants of our accountability system can let us know that, brah, I knew you 6 months ago. You're not there yet, but this is way better than what it was because you need that motivation to keep going. And the final thing there is to stay patient because if you stay patient, it will come.
Awesome.
Yes.
Or routine that highly effective professionals like you are adopting to become who you are or to become who they are.
I was almost going to start answering before you finish the question.
Daily habit.
Number one, be an individual.
Hmm.
That's the first thing. We're in a generation that rides on trends, and people lose their individuality in trying to be a part of a trend. The celebrity mentality. So somebody who you haven't validated, you have no idea about their true self, only their rehearsed self in front of the camera, does something that ignites a trend, but you lose your individuality in it. If you're going to be an impeccable professional, number one, you have to find your individuality and be proud of it.
Hmm.
Number two, you have to be unrepentantly committed to learning.
Hmm.
See, I mean, unrepent, and I wish I can capitalize words in audio. Unrepentantly committed to learning. I'm using a lot of myself, I, as an example, not because I want to brag, but so that you can see that we're not saying things that we don't practice. There are few people on this call, for instance, who were on this call the last time I was at a real platform session to speak. There is no way on earth is the same. It can't sound the same. I am an individual. I am unrepentantly committed to learning. So much so that even in entertainment, I learn. And so we talk about this. You can be watching the movie. That's why it defines the kind of movies I watch. And JJK and I have talked about that. Because I can't be watching certain times. Look, of course, sometimes you just want to laugh and yeah, like decompress, that's okay. But the consistent character of your entertainment platform or system should
Hmm.
contribute to who you want to be. Because
Yep.
language is critical. And you've got to learn the language of your next level. So individuality, an unrepentant commitment to learning.
Hmm.
Humility because you'll be corrected.
That's
Because
it.
you've been
That's it.
corrected.
That's it.
And if you are arrogant, you have mapped out the limit of your evolution already with
People
arrogance.
cannot even take corrections
Yeah,
anymore easily. Like you correct them and then attitude starts.
it's the
And
trend.
you can't take that to the workplace
You
and
can't.
prosper and
It's the
succeed there,
it's
right?
the yeah, it's the trend of speaking up for yourself. So people
Oh,
have lost their individuality without investigating the roots behind the trend, and then they speak up for themselves. My wife calls it speak up and speak out. Let me share this, sir. Um, 2 or 3 months after Keisha became my director, I was on a call with her and I asked her, "It's been 3 months of working closely with you.
hmm.
What do you think I need to improve?" I'm not rare for accolades. I know what I do well. I don't need to reaffirm that. Tell me what I need to do well. I'm asking you to correct me, essentially. I'm not waiting for you to correct. I'm asking you to. If you
Hmm.
ask to be corrected, it will always be in private. If you act like you don't need correction, you'll be corrected in public. And the
Hmm.
shame quotient of public correction is higher
Yeah,
than the
yeah.
shame quotient of private correction. And she told me, you have to be visible in the workplace. And that's the next key, visibility. Don't hide. Put a
Hmm.
face to your name. Don't be silent in meetings. If she told me, even if you have to reaffirm what somebody has said, just so your voice can be registered in that meeting, do that.
Hmm.
And I did.
Hmm.
And in about 15 months, I saw the product of that. And there's still
Wow.
more. So I don't know if I can remember all the points. I think I said be an individual, unrepentant commitment to learning, be humble, and let your voice be heard.
Let your voice be
Let
heard.
your voice
That
be heard.
takes me to another question, which you already started talking about. How can I effectively communicate my value to my organization or potential employers? Because it looks like I'm speaking out kind of, but I'm not heard. How can I do that?
We must understand that organizational politics
Hmm.
is a
Hmm.
is a reality that is here to stay. So
Wow.
we can have another 40-minute session on how to play the politics. But it would overlap into some of the things that I have already shared. So to make your voice heard, I will go back to one of the factors in that red positioning. Stay effective on your
Hmm.
task. Excellence is the greatest deterrent to racism, abuse, disrespect. They say success is the greatest revenge. When you have the answer, they say there's a saying that if a man builds a better mousetrap, sings a better song, writes a better book than his neighbor, though he builds his house in the woods, the world will make a beaten path to his doorstep. I'll say
Hmm.
that if a man writes a better book, sings a better song, or does a better thing than his neighbor, though he builds his house in the woods, the world would build a beaten path to his doorstep. So, first, understand that there's politics, and to infuse yourself into that political system might take time. Once you understand that, stay effective.
Hmm.
One day you will produce an answer that the gatekeepers would call for you. You see, the
Wow.
problem is, sir,
Wow.
a lot of us, we are still in survive.
Hmm. Hmm.
If you are in thrive, you are settled in your infrastructure. So
Hmm.
you're not hopping around that because I didn't get the response I want on this job, I've left. It takes time to build downwards so you can show up upwards.
Hmm.
I mean, my current place of work, I've been here for almost 4 years. If I leave today, sir, and I'm saying this openly, if I leave today to another organization at my current role, I would get somewhere in the range of about $65 to $70,000 more than I'm currently earning.
Wow.
But if I do that, I have to start digging downwards again
Mm.
because I've gained some visibility in the political structure here.
Mm.
So that's why that thrive mentality comes first. I understand that sometimes because of life and all, we might still be, let's just get a job to eat. I was there too. But understand that it's in transit. Don't sit there and be okay or comfortable there. To make your voice known, if that's where you want to build your career path along the lines of, then you have to be patient and be sure that you are delivering value there. Be very
Mm.
sure that you're delivering value there. That politics, there's more to talk about it, knowing when to show up, who to speak up for, when to speak up, meetings to shine, meetings that you can be quiet. Those
Yeah.
keys, we can't go into that by answering a question, right? It could be another question. There's strategy to these things.
Wow. Wow. All right. I would wrap it up. I'm so sorry I had to ask you much more questions than I was going to ask the last question, but then I know that in the series of when we go ahead with this 7 week weekend series, I'm sure someone is going to talk about it. But just at a very high level, what tools or resources would you recommend for continuous learning and upskilling in 2025?
All right.
Could you just, our audience just say, okay, this just, one, two, three, but I know that we have a theme that is specific for this,
Okay.
but I have spent time with you. You are one man I hold in very high esteem, and every word from you is valuable, and I'm not saying this because you're on the screen with me today. I have said this to everyone who cares to listen that is around me. And but then if you can just personally just speak about this, that these are the tools, these are the uh what you need, what you can do to upskill,
Mhm.
as a professional in 2025.
All right. Um, so the first is, and I'm sorry, I want to approach it this way. Whoever is asking that question, right? I want you to first off validate that you really want to learn. Because the reason I say that, sir, is we can list out 1,000, well, maybe that's an exaggeration. We can list out 15 tools. But if you have not really validated the desire, my friends, at the first roadblock, you back up and pack up. So,
Hmm.
two major tools that no matter, because it's very difficult to pull everybody in this room into one context, but two platforms that you can find a representation of any career path you're set on: LinkedIn Learning and Udemy. Those two platforms for professionals. And I mean, it's my expectation that everybody here should know that. And the paid version, they're free courses, but the paid version always
Hmm.
delivers more value.
LinkedIn Learning.
LinkedIn Learning and Udemy.
Hmm.
Some of our organizations, for those who are in corporate, might have some partnership deals with LinkedIn. So you might have access. I have free access to LinkedIn Learning because of where I work. But if you pay for it, you will get a higher value. But don't just pay for it, use it as well. When you
Hmm.
pay for it, LinkedIn Learning and Udemy, you can search for anything. Define what you want to learn and search for it. Those are the free, they're not the free, sorry, those are those platforms that would help
Yeah.
a lot. Every course, you can have instructor led courses, self paced courses, and they will transform your professional or career life. All right. But this
Wow.
is against the precipice of what I said earlier. Don't just now try to learn too many things. You might just identify the top 6 you want to learn this year and dive into it. The final thing there is generative AI. My profile, you heard about AI, so it will be an aberration if I don't talk AI. Generative AI is here to stay, my friends. And maybe some other time I'll get to speak about AI. And in fact, when the third world nations are still trying to get into AI, the first world nations are already talking about the future of AI. Because what we know now as AI is starting to get extinct already. This is from a conference at this is from a Gartner's conference. You can do a research on it. This is feedback from Gartner's conference in 2024. So you can leverage generative AI today. Chat GPT is not the most popular generative AI tool. We could teach a session on how to maximize that tool. It's not Google. It's a virtual assistant. So you have conversations with ChatGPT. I honestly wish I can go into more details, but those are the three tools I will give you. For professionals, LinkedIn Learning and Udemy, the paid versions. If you can do the free ones, of course, now that survive until you can afford the paid one. And then for your daily tasks, anything you think about. In fact, if you have notes now, ChatGPT, if you type it, you know you can access. Just type ChatGPT, ChatGPT on Google. For those who don't know it, many of us know it. All the notes you have taken today, especially those who took the notes on their phone, copy and paste that note on ChatGPT and ask the tool, give me 15 action steps I can take from these notes at the conference I attended this morning to elevate my career in 2025. You'll be surprised at what will come out. Practical steps for you to take. So these are tools that are available, and I think these three will do a lot of good.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much. We have Okay, guys, so listen, across all this, the 7 weekends that we're going to be having, we have a session that is strictly us discussing AI. Okay, we're going to be discussing artificial intelligence at some point. But then I would hopefully I've seen some crazy stuffs that Tayo actually does with ChatGPT when he showed me a few things, some few things. I'm like, okay, I think we need to have a special class on how to use AI, right? Because if you don't know how to use it, you're going to shoot yourself in the leg as well, right? So you want to know how to use it. So we're going to talk about that maybe sometimes towards the end of the year. We're going to bring him back so we can have conversations around how to use these AIs in details. But then I know that one of our sessions this um, season, we're going to be discussing how you can use artificial intelligence to achieve purpose in 2025. You would notice that all our sessions, it's all going to end with in 2025. But then these are general principles that you can apply any year, anytime, right? Next week, right? But before I talk about next week, Saturday, I want us to please help me appreciate my very good friend for such an awesome session tonight or this afternoon or this morning, wherever you're joining from. I saw that we have people join from a few other countries, and I am excited. And we do not take this for granted. And I want to say that Bukola, wherever you are, for having to be the one to get to listen to this several times before us. Um, Thank you as well. I guess you are the one that will get the honorarium for this. Thank you so much. We really do appreciate it.
Thank you
Have a
very
good
much.
one. Thank you so much. All right, guys. So next week, Saturday, we will be having with us Ibrahim social media handles. It's on my Instagram, my Facebook, and the Center for Real Impact as well. We have it on our social media handles. Please just copy the link and tell them, I think you want to be there. And then just pick some of our quotes. I know cut across our social media platforms as well. The quotes from these sessions are already flying everywhere. I already saw them, and I got laughing that, oh my God, the session is still on. And then we have our quotes spread across different platforms already. How to take control of your finances in 2025. We want everyone that we know to be on this um, platform, the YouTube platform, next week, 2 p.m. Eastern Time, 8 p.m. West African Time, 7 p.m. United Kingdom Time, and then, of course, cut across. I began to see a lot of followings from India lately, so probably we might have to add India to our flyers for next time, have their time put on there, because sometimes before the end of this year, we should be having a meet and greet in India. I use the word should because we don't have a specific date yet. And guess what, Tyler? The team for this year's summit, cut across all our platforms, is actually Thrive. I have it on my table for for the last 3 months. It's actually Reset and Thrive. Actually, it is Survive, Reset, Thrive, Survival to Significance, Bridging the Gap. So today I picked up the sheet and I'm like, oh my God, it's been on my table for months. For months, so it's reset and thrive, right? But then, I mean, it's still in the kitchen. We're still cooking. Media, can you stop that? There's something playing. Yeah, thank you. So next week we're gonna take another session, and then also, please, if you are yet to join to be a part of the Elevate network. Can you put it off like totally all over the screen so everyone can see it? It is a community you want to join, but it is not a free community. Again, I also want to announce to us that we have an ebook which is free. We have downloads from over 10 nations of the world already, if not more now. It's a free ebook. I have few folks who already you know all they do is read that in the beginning of every before they start their day. It's 365, what people would say, or what people would call devotionals, right? It is one pill per day, right? And I bet you guys you don't want to miss it. It's free. All you need to do is to click the link or go where it is, put in the details, and download it. When you download it, you're gonna get a copy in your email, right? And the reason why we do that is because so you can have it with you accountable. You can always go to your email and you can always get it. It's called Awaken Each Day. Awaken Each Day. Great material, like awesome material. Please grab the link of this ebook, send it to your friends all over the world, in the UK, in China, in Asia, in South America, North America, everyone who cares to, download it. Let them have it. Put it on your social media platform. This is one ebook, free ebook that you want to have amongst all the books that you currently have. Please make sure you have this book. If you're on this call or you come back later to watch this, download it. Okay. The link or the can you increase it a little bit so people can kindly say it? Um, the link where you can download it is right there. You want to go and grab one of your copies. And then for other materials, we have other books that I have written. Unlock Your Relevance, great book, making impact all over the world. And we also have media. Please, can you help put these books on the screen so people can see it? Right. We have all of the other materials that I have. You can get them on Amazon, or you can contact the office and they will get a copy across to you as soon as possible. So we have Unlock Your Relevance and Awake Each Day, and several other materials that would be helpful to you going forward. I think we should end here today. Again, we have been keeping to time. It is 1 hour, 30 minutes sessions cut across all the 7 webinars. It's an hour, 30 minutes, and we just 2 minutes to go. And right here, we're going to put a stop to it. You want to join, you want to follow us on Instagram, on Facebook, TikTok, we're everywhere. So you want to look out for us at KJK Speaks or at Official Real Platform. And I want to appreciate all Real Platform leadership members, the national country directors of Nigeria, and the country director for the United Kingdom, the country director for the United States of America. I see all of you guys, and I want to say well done. Driving this so much, guys. Victor Oyebade from the UK. Thank you so much, guys, and all our team leaders and members in the US as well. We have several other meet and greets coming up in 2025, and I want you to just be at alert. If you follow us on social media, you're going to get all the notifications, as it were, that would help us. Is there anything I'm missing? Nothing else. Next week, Saturday, I'll see you again here, 2 p.m. I will be here again live with my friend Ibrahim. And then next week,
I gotta elevate. I've been praying to God for a better way. I concentrate on my goals and I meditate. Make sacrifices, put time and I dedicate. I gotta elevate. I'ma make sure the family forever straight. They wouldn't listen, now I gotta devastate. I'm on your ass and I won't let you get away. I gotta elevate. I've been praying to God for a better way. I concentrate on my goals and I meditate. Make sacrifices, put time and I dedicate. I gotta elevate. I'ma make sure the family forever straight. They wouldn't listen, now I gotta devastate. I'm on your ass and I won't let you get away. I gotta elevate. These niggas doubted me, but I won't give up on myself. This me in the trap, I don't need no one else. Ain't nobody saw when I cried out for help. They could care less about the way that I felt. Told you my heart is cold, it's the pain that'll melt. I'm trying to reshuffle the hand I was dealt. How you shoot for the stars and then land in a cell. My nigga moms down while he canned in the jail. He had to find out that shit in the mail. The judge is a bitch, she won't hand him a bail. I know he a G, he gon' handle it well. He could've gave up some info on me and got out, but he's solid, he still wouldn't tell. I made him a promise that I wouldn't fail and get up no matter how hard that I fail. Some niggas despise as I rise to the top. Mixed feelings inside when I ride for the block. Are they really hoping I make it or they really faking and plotting on taking my guap? Stealing my style, they try taking my spot. Raising the stakes, I'm trying to raise up the stock. This game is my bitch, yeah, I got that on lock. But I had to leave, it be getting too hot. I gotta elevate. I've been praying to God for a better way. I concentrate on my goals and I meditate. Make sacrifices, put time and I dedicate. I gotta elevate. I'ma make sure the family forever straight. They wouldn't listen, now I gotta devastate. I'm on your ass and I won't let you get away. I gotta elevate. I've been praying to God for a better way. I concentrate on my goals and I meditate. Make sacrifices, put time and I dedicate. I gotta elevate. I'ma make sure the family forever straight. They wouldn't listen, now I gotta devastate. I'm on your ass and I won't let you get away. I gotta elevate. I gotta elevate, gotta elevate, I gotta elevate. I gotta elevate, I gotta elevate, I gotta elevate.
Well, boys, we hit the jackpot this time.
I gotta elevate. I gotta elevate. I gotta elevate. I've been praying to God for a better way. I concentrate on my goals and I meditate. Make sacrifices, put time and I dedicate. I gotta elevate. I'ma make sure the family forever straight. They wouldn't listen, now I gotta devastate. I'm on your ass and I won't let you get away. I gotta elevate. I've been praying to